Hello, my name is Emily Brownstead, and I will be presenting my capstone research study on high school teachers' analysis and understanding of students' gifted student service plans and their implementation of appropriate extended learning strategies in their classroom. The study took place at Boone County High School in Northern Kentucky, where there are 107 students identified as gifted and talented. Figure 1 down at the bottom of the screen shows the areas of identification of these 107 students. And all classroom teachers have students identified as gifted and talented in their regular education classrooms. And many teachers are not aware of how to access a student's gifted student service plan and then implement the appropriate accommodations and differentiation in their classrooms for those students' unique needs. So this study investigated teacher awareness on gifted education, their understanding of gifted student service plans, and the training teachers had to accommodate for gifted learners in their classroom. My hope was that this study would benefit Boone County High School by identifying these gaps in teacher training for gifted learners and then possibly implementing purposeful professional development. I began by analyzing some literature, collecting articles by theme. My 3 themes were teacher training and awareness of gifted education, which showed that many teachers had heard of forms of differentiation for gifted learners, but didn't have the practice and implementation. Another theme was issues and implications of gifted education. We serve students who are identified as gifted and are also English language learners or have 504 and IEP plans. Maybe they struggle with underachievement or perfectionism. And finally, accommodations and differentiation in gifted education. Because all teachers and classrooms have gifted students, we need to make sure that those students are challenged with appropriate extended learning strategies. My methodology was utilizing a mixed method research of qualitative and quantitative data. That data would be through 3 instruments: a survey, observation, and interview. Those 3 instruments would then be triangulated together for commonalities and major themes. My participants were 8 teachers at Boone County High School. They represented various levels of teaching experience as well as different content areas and departments. I protected participant data by having signed consent letters, identifying participants by number, storing the data digitally, and all this data will be destroyed by January 1st, 2020. Figures 2 and 3 show the participant years of teaching experience and participant content area. I prepared by creating the 3 instruments: the survey, the observation form, and the interview log. All of these were backed by the research themes I had gathered in the literature table and were aligned with my research question. Then I explored the results. I started to compile initial coding for commonalities by using the Likert scale questions from the survey, handwritten notes from the observation, and transcribed recordings of the interviews. My analysis then coded the individual themes and the meta themes to find an eventual triangulated theme across the data. And that was what led to my results conclusion and my recommendations after the study. Here you see the initial survey codings from the surveys. Half of my participants were very knowledgeable of seeing if a student was identified as gifted. And then the numbers dropped in if they had the knowledge of even viewing the gifted student service plan. When they were viewing it, over half of my participants were not knowledgeable on seeing student options, as well as knowing how to differentiate for those gifted learners. Then I coded the observation and interview data. Mostly I saw that there was some example of differentiation in the observations, that gifted students were on task, and often that teachers were creating these opportunities for critical thinking. Interviews were especially eye-opening. Teachers want more awareness for gifted and talented education. They want more training. They want examples on differentiation. And they're seeking professional development opportunities about gifted education. Looking at all three of the instruments, the survey meta-themes, observation meta-themes, and interview meta-themes, one triangulated fact stood forward, and that was differentiation for gifted learners. Therefore, the triangulated outcome led me to an assertion that teachers had a minimal understanding of differentiation strategies for gifted learners. Because of this, I was able to conclude that teachers want more strategies on how to differentiate. Also, notably, two of the three instruments showed that teachers had minimal understanding of gifted student service forms, which was my initial question, in addition to the differentiation. So teachers would like support for accommodating for their higher level learners, and they want to learn more about the areas of identification for gifted students. Therefore, a final conclusion proved that teachers want more professional development and training for gifted education and differentiation strategies. I returned back to the literature, and using that triangulated outcome and the assertion, I was able to code or search for new themes of literature. First, improvement and focus on teacher training. Teachers must be given the tools to strengthen their instruction to help gifted and talented students meet their maximum potential. Another theme was improvement and differentiation. Two studies discussed the gaps in teacher training for services to the gifted, and differentiation instruction and student-centered learning are the ways to fill these gaps. How do we do this? The third theme, an improvement in school culture. Many teachers, according to Lassig and Reed, have negative attitudes and believe in myths about gifted education. So with proper training, with proper awareness, teachers will then be able to develop gifted learners' skills and abilities. I'm so excited because this research can now impact Boone County High School by increasing teacher awareness and understanding in gifted education. The research can create meaningful professional developments and improve the level of support for teachers. In a broader sense, this can affect the profession overall by leading to improved school culture and awareness of differentiation strategies for gifted learners across the country. My three main recommendations: awareness for teachers. The study identified gaps in teacher awareness in gifted education. Another recommendation, professional development for teachers. According to this study, 63% of teachers did not know how to access a gifted student service form in Infinite Campus. This knowledge should be taught to teachers so that they can meet the needs of gifted learners in their classroom. And a final recommendation, support at the school level. Gifted learners are a valued part of the school population, and 75% of teachers in this study did not know how to differentiate for these gifted learners. Gifted and talented education seems to require more awareness, education, and training at the school level to assist teachers in accommodating in the classroom for their gifted learners. For more information regarding this study, here are many studies and articles that you can refer to.